Hi, it's Brendan, the mini painting noob. Have you ever wondered whether speed paint really is for beginners? How long would it actually take for a beginner painter to smash out a little army? Well, today we're going to test the theory that speed paints are for beginners and that they're actually fast. I've never painted an army before. I've painted a few minis. Here's an example. So using speed paint, I've done a few things, done some practiced using them. There's another guy. So I mean, I've learned how to paint and I know how the paint works roughly now. But how long will it take to smash out a bunch of catapults? So I've got 12 catapults here. They're from the board game Shadows Over Camelot. The colour scheme that I'm going to apply is speed paint hardened leather. This will be for the majority of the catapult. They're made out of wood, so all of the sides, wheels, the inside, underneath eventually, all of this will just be hardened leather, nice brown colour. To mix it up a little bit, we'll use some Gravelord Grey, and I'm going to make the catapult part, this little bar here, a grey colour, as well as underneath the bowl that holds the rock. So we'll make that grey. Then, yeah, not really sure, maybe we could do some pallid bone for this part of the model, just that crossbar there. Often you see in catapults they're like wound with rope. So, you know, that could just be that sort of shock absorption area, some pallid bone. And then the rock itself, not sure if we own a speed paint colour that is rock coloured, except for Gravelord Grey, but we're already using it for this bar. So maybe we'll just make that a little bit darker, maybe we can add some black. I don't know, we'll see what we get to, but at this stage let's crack on. Let's see whether a beginner painter can paint 12 catapults. So first off, do we get in there with the brown first, I think, and try to avoid the areas that we want the grey and bone colours. I need quite a lot, so I've got that on my little dry palette there. So don't use speed paints on a wet palette. It's not going to work out well for you. It bleeds everywhere. It ends up soaking through the wet palette onto your sponge. So let's go. Let's see what this looks like. So these catapults are quite nice. They've got recesses. The wheels have got a little axle there. There's some texture on the wooden bits. So good texture all round. So the speed paint should perform quite well with doing some shades and highlighting for us. Now, because of the reactivation issue that you guys may have heard about, we kind of don't want to get the paint on any areas that we want to put the other colours, because it just is harder to get those other colours to come through the colour we want, because it kind of blends, the colours blend and mix, which I mean can be used to your advantage. You can slap on some speed paint, then you know if the colour's not quite right, you put on another colour and it sort of blends, which I found quite cool. You know, if something's too red, you can put some orange or yellow on just to change the tone a little bit. It sort of blends in. I just want to slap on tons of this stuff, just sort of mix it around. And we'll get a little bit of underneath here. And once they're dry, I'll probably flip them over. getting into the areas where I need to be more careful. So I think this block will be brown. See that block at the base of the pole there? So I think that's brown. Just a bit in here. This is looking pretty nice so far. I mean, the paint is poling where you would expect it to pole to make those shadows. Okay, just need to do this final bar touch up. Hopefully you can see this. Sorry, I'm not looking at the viewfinder while I'm painting. Alright, how's that looking? A bit blurry. Get some focus. There we go. So that took a few minutes to put on that coat. It's not perfect, but a bit of extra pulling, a few missed bits. Okay, there's one. One down. 11 to go. I'm always worried that I'll put too much on an area that doesn't have much area to cover, like these wheels. I mean, they're not that big, so I kind of don't want it to be the first sort of dipping of my brush to be the wheel, you know what I mean? Like, I might end up getting too much on and then I've got to deal with taking some off. But yeah, I don't know, it's speed paint, right? So you've got to just slap it on. That's got to be fast. So let's try and go as quick as I can. Probably don't need to worry about the underside too much because I'll flip them over at some point and finish the underside. But you know, we'll get some of it. Alright, that's the outside done. Let's do the block. Sorry if I keep on moving this out of the camera view. And the inside. Missed that bit again. Alright, I think that is it. A little bit of brown on there. Cool, number 2. Where are we up to? That was maybe slightly quicker. I'll clean my brush. I made little stands for these out of a battery, blue tacked a coin on the bottom. Put some tape on the battery so I don't get paint on the battery itself, and then just blue tack the model to the top. So you know, when you're new at this and you haven't really got the gear together yet, you know, a little bit of ingenuity to get the tools that you need. We don't always have to go out and buy expensive holders. I imagine nobody owns 12 of them, so what do you guys use for improvised holding devices when you've got a whole lot to do all at once? Comment below, give me some suggestions. What else what regular household items can you use to build a painting contraption. Let's just go super quick, fast as we can. So Army Painter are saying, you know, on the instructions or the how-to on this, so you just slap on a coat, one coat, and you're done. And I mean, for the most part, it seems to be true. It pulls, does all the shading for you. You can go on later and do some highlights if you want, with some dry brushing, but for the most part, it's, you know, slap it on and you're good. Might be a little bit too much shading. Let's maybe take it a little bit off. Yeah. I think I got some under that bowl there, so get a wet brush and stab it around, wipe it off on a rag, and good. Clean up as we go. Alright. 3 down. If you want to see how long this took in total, you can skip to the end for final comments and wrap up, but otherwise this is a speed test. I'm not going to do any time lapsing or anything. I'm new to YouTube as well. This is, you know, only my 4th video, I think, so, and I'm not doing any editing or anything at the moment. Just sort of learning the game. At some point I might get, you know, better equipment or whatever if this whole thing goes well. I mean, I've got a lot of minis to paint. I've got, I need some more brown. We're running out. I've got probably about 6 board games of minis. Might be about 100 minis all up. So, you know, you can follow the journey. The board games get a little bit more interesting after the Shadows Over Camelot and the Grim Forest are done. They are sort of the two I'm not worried too much about what the minis end up looking like. So I thought I'd practice on those. I don't own any test miniatures. No old Warhammer sitting in a closet anywhere. So haven't done any of this ever, so I mean, that's what Speedpaint's marketed for, right? Someone like me never picked up a paintbrush, so, you know, let's see if their marketing is accurate. Can I do it? Is it fast? Does it look good? There we go, 4. Next. And how much paint will this use? So, how much of a bottle is 12? Catapults. Well, I need to buy another bottle once I'm done here. So the next games I'm planning on painting, I've got Fallout, the board game with the expansion. I've got two expansions for it. I forget what they're called ones. I think New California, and the other expansions to allow you to play solo. So I've got both of those with the extra minis. So plenty of Fallout minis to do. So I'm looking forward to them. Bit of power armor, ghouls, the settlers, vault dwellers, soul survivor. So yeah, a bit of a fallout fan, so that would be fun to paint those. Don't know if I'm getting faster or not, you guys, but there we go, there's another one done. So yeah, I'm not sure the order of them yet, but I've got Fallout. That'd probably be the next one after Shadows Over Camelot is done. And then I've got Mice and Mystics with the expansions. Sorry, camera's not... Gotta get the camera and the item in the view, don't I? Mice and Mystics with all the expansions. So quite a lot of minis for that one. So I have to figure out how to paint animals. That'll be interesting. And then I've got Clank Legacy with the A Team and C Team expansions. I think Clank Legacy is my favourite game of all time, so I've played through it twice. And we play, either the Legacy Clank or the regular Clank with the expansions fairly regularly. So it would be nice for the minis to be painted and have some extra personality. I think as I'm going along here, I'm getting a bit more sort of dabby, a bit faster, a bit less careful. I'm going to make sure I don't miss bits or hit stuff I'm not supposed to. Alright, here we go. Another one. So let's go through remaining figures while I've got to paint. So waiting on the speed paint to be available to purchase individual paints, which according to my my paint shop that I'm using is the 31st of March, so I'm expecting to have a lot more content coming up in early April, as I'll be able to finish most of the minis that I've already started, and so I'll do videos of those. Getting a bit of spray on my table, so it's not a clean process, there's a few drips and stuff going on. Alright. So that's looking good. It's just that crossbeam that I'm not painting, so that is excellent. Alright, 5 to go. So in the Grim Forest, you will have seen I've pretty much finished the giant. I don't think I've got anything else to do with him unless I get some sort of inspiration or learn some new technique. I'm wondering whether I should over paint the gloss. You might have seen the short video I did. I honestly did go to the store and they had one can of varnish left, and I didn't even read the top. I just picked it up and bought it. Got it home, painted a bunch of minis and then wondered why are they shiny. I thought varnish was matte, and well, there you go. The mini painting noob bought the wrong varnish. So I've ordered a matte varnish. Hopefully it'll be here in a couple of days. Not sure if I can do any spray can tutorials because I don't have any gear to sort of film while I'm spraying. No tripods or anything like that. If that's something that you're interested in seeing, then let me know. Certainly I could source something, jerry rig something up. Alright, so he's looking good. There's a lot of brown on these. Wonder if I should come in later with a bit of extra detail, but the point of this session is, can a beginner painter speed paint? And will it look good? Will this video be interesting? Who knows? Is there anybody watching past this point? Are you getting sick of my rambling? Yeah, so varnish. So I'll get some more matte varnish. It's on its way. So I'm wondering, question for you guys who know more than me, can I matte varnish over gloss varnish? What will happen? Will the mini start going cloudy? Will I still see my colour? Or, will it be fine? And just be more matte, like what I want it to be. Painted over the lines on this one a little bit, so I have to do some fix up. I think that is all there. Do you guys paint in one direction, or do you just, slap it on? What techniques do you use? Am I doing it right? Okay, I'm going to do some fix up on that bar right there. This is in focus for you. Not sure. You see this brown here, so I'm just going to wipe my brush. Wipe my brush. I'll keep doing that until it's almost all gone. And I don't know whether this is a feature of acrylics or not, but I like the fact that you can basically hit undo on speed paint for the most part and sort of take it back. Alright, next one, 3 to go. We're at 23 minutes. I think I started painting about 20 minutes ago. It's going to be a long video, sorry guys, but I had one comment saying, show me more painting, and don't care about basing, show me more painting. That's cool, I can show more painting. I will be showing some more basing videos as I go, but I'll try and label them. So if you're not interested in that, it's probably the fact that I labelled it a speed paint video and then didn't actually do any painting in it. Probably a little bit, is that a bit deceptive? I don't know. It's sort of showing the results of the speed paint rather than actually painting in the video. My paint on my palette is starting to get sticky, so I probably put too much down in one go. So that's good to know. Don't put out too much, even if you know you're going to use a lot. because it will just dry up. So I think I'm going to do a new puddle of paint after this one. Also, if you aren't putting on much paint, the speed paint isn't going to do what speed paint is supposed to do, right? So if you're only putting on the smallest hint, it's going to glaze or tint, you know, the paint goes where you put it and it stays there, but if you haven't put on enough for it to pull, it's not going to do the shading stuff. So you really do have to put on a lot. Alright, let's get a bit more brown. I'm going to put it on a different place than I put before because it's developing a bit of a skin as I drag it around, and we don't want to add texture to the figures, we want to add paint. So let's go second to last one, and that will be the brown done. We can move on to the next colour. And the first one will be dry enough to handle it, but not dry enough to, not reactivate. You may have seen a video I did on that with the dragon, so I have posted one where I was touching up some of the dragon's highlights, demonstrating what happens if you put white directly on red. It won't be white. The thickest white acrylic dabbed straight on red is going to absorb the red paint and turn into a pinky colour. In fact, it can turn into the exact same red colour, and you just can't even tell you stuck a white dab there. So if you're getting into detailing, if I get into detailing, probably pay to do the matte varnish before doing any other layering. Let's get that brown off under there. Alright, last one. So I've shown you the giant and the dragon. So the other big mini is the troll who lives under a bridge. So for him I've only painted the skin and the wheat and bricks and wood and stuff that's around him. I'm waiting for the dark black, I think it's called grim black, not sure. Before I finish painting the bridge, and there's a few other browns in the, I think there's a few other browns that I want to try as well. There's a tree growing up the side of the bridge, and a few other details, so I just want a few more paints to have in my arsenal so I can pick some different colours. Sorry if you can't see the model sometimes. I'm sort of trying to focus on getting this done as fast as I can, and sometimes it gets out of the view of the camera. Alright, that's the last one. Which is a little bit there I missed. Doesn't matter too much, but alright. That was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 catapults with speed paint, hardened leather. Done. Alrighty. So let's get some Gravelord Grey. Should I do the Gravelord Grey of the Rock? Have to think about this. Pallid Bone was for the over thing. Gravelord Grey for the stone. What about the crossbar? I mean, it could be blue. I mean, we could have coloured padding or something. We've got bright green. I mean, that could be interesting. What if the rope was blue? The bar was bone and the rock was grey. Okay, let's go with that. Alright. That's a bunch of pallid bone. That in the view there. There you go. So you can see my pallid bone. So on the palette, it looks pretty much the same as the leather. So we see what it looks like when we put it down here, though. So I'm picking this first because it's the lightest color. So if I make mistakes, the blue and the grey should go over it fairly easily. So even though they mix, I mean, it's a really light colour. So you can see the pallid bone in its wet state. So I'm just going to do that to 12 catapults. Shouldn't take too long this bit. Probably don't want too much on. Getting it in underneath is challenging. Through it. Brush it clean. I heard somewhere that, you know, keeping a clean brush is a good idea. Preserve the life of your brush. This one, it's the monster brush that came with the starter set, the Speedpaint starter set. And it lost its point pretty quickly. You can see here, it's not very pointy anymore. It's kind of got a flat tip. So I've ordered another one. We'll see if the other one does the same thing. I'll probably keep the other one for detail work and use this one for the slopping on of speed paint. So you kind of want a big brush that holds a lot. It's kind of like applying washes, I hear. You kind of just want to slop it on. Colour in between the lines. Try not to get over the lines. Halfway there. Oopsie, that one's gone over. But like I said, the grey is darker, so that should be fine. Let's just leave it and see what it does. So painting Shadows Over Camelot is going to be interesting. So I haven't played the game yet, I haven't read the rules. I only acquired it recently, and then I saw it had minis in it and decided, oh, let's paint it up before I play it. But it looks like you play as one of the Knights of the Round Table. Each knight has a very distinct colour palette with a primary colour. So obviously in board games you can play as a colour, so you'll either play as the green or the blue, or so your pieces are a set colour, and they've kind of gone with that in this game. So you could play as the red knight or the green knight, and so most of your clothing is that primary colour or secondary colour. And then there's a lot of metallics, a lot of gold, silver, bronze, a lot of armour, weapons, helmets, boots. There won't be any basing, so people who don't like watching basing, there's going to be none of that. So every base is the colour of your character. So if you're the red character, your figure has a red base. So those will be interesting to paint. So it's effectively one colour, and metallics, and you're kind of done. Here's a sneak peek. Here's Sir Gawain. Get him in there. There you go, Sir Gawain. So metallics, blacks, greens, golds. His weapon looks like it's a bronze. And here he is here. So the picture in the player card is exactly the same pose as the mini. And you can see they're all standing on like a rock foundation, and it is green underneath. So I guess I could paint it a rock colour because he's going to be painted green, isn't he? So yeah, he's probably going to be the first one of those guys I paint. Alrighty, let's go Gravelord Grey and get those rocks done. So we probably only need a couple of drops of this one. We are 40 minutes in. Wow. Can I paint 12 catapults in under an hour? I think you need more paint and just drop it on. It's not painting nicely. That first one was easy to do, and this one is. More challenging. Okay, that's I don't know if I like that. It's a whole lot of shading, way too much shading, isn't it? I guess we'll find out what it looks like once it's dry. Alright. drop it on, see what it looks like. Too much, right? So you go, oh, you noob. Yeah, I know. This is the first time I've done this before. Should I have gone with another colour palette, different style? What colours would you have done? A little twitch there. Let's clean that up. How do we get black off of palette bone? Can we do it? How good do speed paints clear up when you make a mistake? Pretty good. Put some palette bone back on since we wiped it off. Good. Easy peasy, eh? So, how do you guys find cleaning up acrylics? Because as a beginner, I'm kind of liking how easy the paint is to work with. It goes on, it comes off. I mean, granted, this is probably the most difficult I've done so far, actually, getting just the rock and not too much shadow. That is hard. That might be the best one I've done so far. It's not bad. I'll have to go in and clean up the ones where I put way too much on. That one I missed a bit. Yeah. Steady my breathing. Is it working? 8 done, 4 to go. These might actually need another coat. The grey is quite light. Once it's drying. It would be darker. Maybe a light grey stone is alright. One more. Alrighty, that's the grey done. Let's go back to the first one I did and have a look at how that's coming along. There's quite a bit of shadow in there. Might be alright. Looks like I've got missed some brown in here. Let's touch that up. Alright, should do the blue. I might put on my magnifiers and make things a little bit easier. So I've got a headset magnifier. Alright. Blue. Okay, let's put some blue here. We don't need too much. I haven't had any paint mishaps yet, except one of my kids opened a bottle and squirted it everywhere, but I personally haven't had any paint mishaps yet. I might go a smaller tip. Seems to work better with the magnifier, so go with a small area, small tip. Requires a few more dabs. To, a few more loading of the paint, but sorry, you can't even see that, can you? I'm just getting up underneath. Side. And underneath, you're not going to see that. Oh, there, see that right there. So I'm going to try and get my brush right underneath there. So he's saying that this is like a blue cloth. I don't know what you would call it. Comment below if you know what this thing is called. So catapult swings up and smacks into that thing. It's a little bit too much pulling, I think, so I'll take some of that off. This is a flat surface, so it's a good test for the speed paint. How well does it do in the flats? You can also see I've got a bit of brown in the edge. I can add a bit more too. So right on that edge there. Get some more browns in those. Right where you can see it. So that is looking fantastic. Not too shabby. Alrighty. Maybe these should be different colours. Do you reckon in the age of Camelot, in the round table, what colours do you reckon they would have used? Probably not blue. Blue was quite hard to come by, wasn't it? What was that, purple? Yeah, it's kind of seeing the magnifier when it's hitting the brown, it's turning into a green colour. That's the reactivation. Well, it's probably not completely dry, so it's not a real test there, is it? Hasn't been that long, has it? But definitely getting green vibes from this one, because there was a bit of brown left behind. And same thing again, we're going to get some of that off. You might see there in that corner, you can see the green tinge. And so if you're wanting to blend like that, I laid that paint on over, that brown on over 30 minutes ago, and I'm going to put some blue on now, and it blends green. That's pretty cool. You could definitely use the features of the speed paint to your advantage, in my opinion. I don't think you have to write it off because of this problem. And I think, the fact this exists got me in the hobby. Got me creating a YouTube channel and talking to whoever's listening. So yeah, I'd like to know who's listening, so yeah, leave a comment below, like and subscribe if you want to see my journey progress in this new hobby of mine. I have to apologise in advance, I'm not going to be painting Warhammer I'm only going to be painting board games. I will keep an eye out for more board games to paint. I recently got rid of Gloomhaven and Jaws of the Lion. I sort of played them solo enough times, and I was able to trade them for some other games. So yeah, Gloomhaven won't be on the to-do list. I am on the lookout for, watch for when Frosthaven gets to New Zealand. I understand it's probably not until probably mid next year, but that will certainly be a fun one to paint when it comes out. Definitely got some brown under this one. So again, it's looking some green hues. So Speedpaint's definitely a colour within the lines product. If you want to have none of this reactivation stuff or whatnot, colour within the lines, one coat, one colour, and you're done. Put some more brown on there, look a little bit better. Okay, just about finished. 4, 5, 6, 7 to go. This has taken so long, my kids are home from school. So I found a good time of day to film is when they're being picked up. So, is Speedpaint speedy? Well, I guess that depends on what project you're doing. This will be an hour to paint, nearly an hour to paint these catapults. So the kids are going to storm into this room and be loud, so I'll apologise for that in advance. I will be filming my 5-year-old son, I think, sometime in the future. He's got some figures he wants to paint. So, I mean, how noob can you get, 5-year-old, using Speedpaint? So we'll see how he goes. That could be interesting. Alright, these are nearly done. I'd like your feedback. How did I do? Is there anything you would have done differently? Different colours, different painting techniques? Did I apply the paint in the right order? Is Speedpaint the right paint for this kind of project? Or should I learn how to use acrylics? What would you have done differently? And how do you like my little battery stands? What would you have, what do you use to batch paint? So prior to this, all of the figures... There you go, someone's yelling time out. Someone's being naughty. Like I said, I'm not editing these videos, so you get to hear all of the wonderful happenings of my house. Three more to go. If I was authorized for live videos, I would have opted for that, but on YouTube, I'm not sure what the requirements are. There might be 1,000 subscriptions or something before you can do a live video. 2 more to go. Sorry, can't even see that in the camera. These lenses I'm using are really good. I like the extra magnification, gives me extra control on what I'm doing. And I can see. Oh, it's definitely getting a bit of green. Maybe I should have opted for a green. There we go, done. So, 56 minutes. I think there's a couple of minutes of me talking before I started. But there you go. Can a beginner paint an army's worth of catapults with speed paint? I think that is a yes. I've got to give them some drying time and then take them off. I will do the bottom just because I want to, so I want to finish them off. Since they don't have a base, I'll paint underneath. But I'll need to let them dry a bit longer before I do that. So yeah, so like and subscribe if you want to see more painting tutorials on how a beginner would paint. It's not really a tutorial, but if you want to watch me screw up and make mistakes, then come back and you'll see videos like me painting this guy from scratch. So thanks for watching. We'll see you again later. Bye.